Hello and welcome to this wonderful tournament on the 21st night of September. Captain Jack, do you remember?
I do.
We're right here with some incredible Overwatch coming right at you. We've got MaDetho versus Pristine Guardians, and we've got some really exciting matches. We're going to be following Pristine Guardians for most of this tournament for the Atlas Fighters Showdown.
That's absolutely right, K-Wing. First off, want to apologize. We had a couple of casters either with technical difficulties or just plain not showing up at the last minute. So needless to say, it's been a little bit of a juggle, but we appreciate your patience, both to the audience and to the teams here. But yes, we're going to be following Pristine Guardians because the way this tournament is laid out is that this week is essentially their group stage. We're going to be going through each one of the 4 groups that currently exist. Tonight is all Group Alpha, tomorrow being Bravo, Saturday Charlie, and Sunday Delta. And the top 2 of each group will be moving on to the playoffs in a couple weeks due to Overwatch League Grand Finals. We had to move that date a week back, but then those top 8 will be playing for that $1,200 prize pool and seeing who walks away with the championships. Now, MaDetho, actually, by what I was told, previous champions of this particular tournament with Atlas. So it's going to be interesting to see how Pristine Guardians hold up to the title champs already up against them.
Yeah, and I mean, just looking at this roster, you can completely tell why for MaDetho. you have some incredible names. I mean, you have Captain Thrash, you have Senna, and I mean, if you have spent any time in the marginalized gender scene of Overwatch, or just generally, you know Senna. And if you have watched any amount of contenders play, you have seen Cat Thrash. So we've got some exciting names that we're going to be watching as we go into Lijiang, and already some interesting different takes on what we're going to be doing first in terms of the meta.
Well, you know what, K-Wing? I refuse to be baited so early in this tournament already. Although Bastion has been kind of on the up and up in terms of their viability right now, so I wouldn't put it past them to pull that out. But I guess it depends on how hard Pristine Guardians want to run with this Junker Queen Bastion composition. Looks like we're gonna get a little Zarya coming out from MaDetho.
Yeah, I do like this Zarya pick, especially against the aggression that's going to be coming out from the Pristine Guardians, as already we're getting into a bit of a poke phase. The Sim TP coming out from the Pristine Guardians to get them right onto point. And now you just have to try, and if you're made to walk into this Junker Queen, walk into the shotgun blast, and it is a difficult job to do, as you've got the Bastion coming in at the long range, TP coming out to jump in, and Sledge already takes down Senna, and that's a big first pick and a fight win for the Pristine Guardians.
Yeah, beautiful opener there. I mean, the really good thing about playing on Bastion is if you can't aim, you can definitely shoot a lot of bullets in that approximately 8 seconds, but a Soulless with that early pick onto Captain Thrash is going to slow down the MaDetho's re-engage.
Yeah, I mean, that Lucio is going to be back very quickly, but just getting that early pick, and such a smart play here from the Pristine Guardians. They're rushing in and taking advantage of their 45. They're going to take out the tank, and this Junker Queen going incredibly well. The Pristine Guardians showing the former champs what for.
That's absolutely right. And the biggest issue that I'm looking at right now is I want to see Korra swap over to that Orisa, because right now Orisa is the other one kind of in the meta right now, at least in terms of tanks that are really going to provide a lot of power. I mean, getting up close to that Graviton Surge. So as we see, the Amp Matrix just totally denied.
Completely, and just walk through. The Pristine Guardians feel free to give a point as they just run over the backline of MaDetho, and I mean, that's all you can say.
Yeah, I mean, there's really not much more that you can voice about it, as we're coming up onto the barrage of Senna. Gonna be a good combo there if Korra can get up that Graviton Surge and group everyone up successfully. Ooh, but the miss and the boop gonna force them back.
The grab comes out, but it's on the front line, and Senna's off in the back line. They're completely split, so there's no combo there for MaDetho. They're just trying to put something together, but they have both these DPS ults. They have everything that they should need. The barrage gets through. Senna comes back with it. MaDetho is not out of this round just yet, but they're gonna need something bigger. Senna does get rezzed, and Offie is gonna take the last pick there. MaDetho aren't out of it just yet.
I do like a swap of Curse over to this Genji, and already has Dragon Blade online, ready and raring to go. Do see Monkey happy, though, living up to their namesake as they swap over to the Winston to try to take care of that mechanical ninja very, very quickly. I think the real concern is going to be Korra still on this Zarya and whether they're going to be able to hold the line.
Well, the Lucio going down early is a huge loss. MaDetho, the Genji, gonna throw out the blade. Not gonna find much, but it'll still be an early pick. It looks like Curse is going to swap off here. And the question is to what? And can they get back in time? They're gonna swap off to the Tracer, so they'll have the time to get back. Looking in at this next fight, not a lot of ults coming up for both of these teams, but you've got a big manual hack coming in, and there's the Amplification Matrix, one of the only ones that you have on the side of MaDetho, they're going to draw out a bit of a recontest, but I think I find a huge headshot on the Tracer, draws out the res. Point starting to flip over toward the side of the Pristine Guardians, but they're losing people. They need this Kitsune rush. They need it now, and it's going to absolutely let Monkey Happy go wild in the back line, going bananas.
That is absolutely true. My apologies that I'm kind of missing some of the action. I was supposed to be running the behind-the-scenes stuff, so I'm having to go between those streams while also casting. But as we see Sledge on this Sombra, beautiful clean up there, and Pristine Guardians are looking to take it back.
They are, and they have so many ults to do it. They throw in the post bomb, they throw in the EMP, they throw in the Primal Rage, and they've just got all the picks. A really good ult rotation saves the Pristine Guardians, and they take round one just barely, taking victory from the jaws of defeat.
Absolutely. MaDetho definitely struggling a little bit, but hey, it's control very early on as we go ahead and move into the Gardens. Pristine Guardians showing that the Bastion is not the only thing that they can play, as we're already seeing a dive composition coming out from MaDetho. Cora coming out on this Wrecking Ball is going to be a very interesting composition to utilize, as we see Senna now going over to the Echo, which is going to have a lot more maneuverability, a lot higher damage power. But if Sledge stays on this Symmetra, which it looks like they won't, Sledge might actually be at a disadvantage against the beam of Senna.
Yeah, Senna's going to have a lot of trouble, or he's going to have a lot of free reign on this Echo to just go into the back line and wreak havoc, as the Pristine Guardians are just sort of sheltering in place like it's a darn tornado drill. You gotta get out there, sons. You gotta get out. You gotta get onto the point, as they're gonna quickly rotate. But Senna's gonna find an early pick onto Mellow during that rotation, and it'll be MaDetho just ready and raring to take down, to disrupt, and do exactly what this ball composition wants to do, as Cora, though, going to have their role disrupted, now trying to just stay alive, using those adapted shields to keep the health bar up and above 0. As trades coming in, you use your Kiriko from MaDetho. The Mercy's going to have to rotate, but you don't even have to care when Senna's firing on automatic, nearly getting up to the ult already, and getting MaDetho, keeping them alive, picking up a 3-piece, looking for more. Can you give us a few more, Senna? Gonna nearly get the 4th, but Cora will take it, and it looks like MaDetho will take it. It's just bit by bit, they're going to take it.
Yeah, can I just say, I feel really bad for Curse, who is essentially behind a Snotty Finger the whole time, just peppering away at them, and then Senna comes in and finally cleans up the elimination that they've been trying to get for a good, 15 seconds. That's hard on a Tracer, but, sometimes that's a job you do just enough so that the powerhouse DPS can take him right out, and Offie, able to get that first elimination, can slow down this retest.
And there's the supports gone. MaDetho just focusing down the support perfectly, and Cursed now just, must have taken some issue with you calling Senna the pop-off DPS. Cursed said, I can pop off just the same, thank you.
Hey, I appreciate that. I barely got to 4 stars on the Tracer hero thing that they just put out. So anyone that can pop off on Tracer is definitely a pro in my book. You see the retest coming in for Pristine Guardians. It's going to be beautiful opener.
What a meaty shotgun shot from Monkey Happy, taking out the Kiriko and just running through MaDetho. The only thing you can say there is that you didn't use too many ultimates, whereas Pristine Guardians, they used 2 of their big ones with the Rampage and with the Kitsune Rush. So that's, the only consolation that you have from MaDetho is that you didn't over-invest.
go ahead and see the continued utilization and hold from the Pristine Guardians, finally taking control. The EMP able to find one, but it looks like the eliminations aren't there. There's another Junker Queen on the field.
Yeah, there's 2 on the field now. The stick coming in onto the duplicate. Senna cannot get the rampage. A great ultimate coming out from Mello to shut down MaDetho's push. Their big investment shut down. They're finding picks, though they take out Monkey Happy, but it might just not be enough. Senna would need to pull out something big here, and they're so low. Mello's gonna clean up and just clean out. That's 4 for Mello. Might even make it 5 with this pick onto Senna if they can get a late stagger.
We'll see what they can make happen indeed, as we see the continued growth of that EMP coming back up 50% and climbing, equal to the 50% Pristine Guardians currently have on the board. A little surprised that we're not seeing Cora swapping off this Wrecking Ball, but they've done relatively well staying away from Sledge. It's going to be making sure to keep that Sombra out of play as much as possible, so that Wrecking Ball has room to breathe.
And there's the commanding shout popped by the Junker Queen. The push in, but stays alive. The beat from Pristine Guardian is gonna let them stay up, stay alive, and might just seal them the deal. They have 3 ults coming into the next fight. Can MaDetho even answer?
Well, I mean, they do have 3 ultimates, make that 4 of their own as Curse is approaching that pulse bomb as well. It's going to have to be a very coordinated attack. That Kitsune Rush is going to have to be in a good position to help Senna be able to get up that charge. And it doesn't look like they're there in time.
Onto the Sombra! The EMP is gone, and the minefield finds the Tracer. Everything's coming up MaDetho, and they're able to keep themselves in it, but not a big investment from the Pristine Guardians. And MaDetho, I mean, they took everything to get that point.
That's true, and this is final fight territory now, with the only thing being a coalescence in the pocket. They really have to figure out how they are going to adjust things on the fly, especially with an EMP and the pulse bomb grabbing the only ultimate.
Oh my gosh, what a pulse bomb from Mello onto Captain Thrash. An incredible one, but Senna finds the pick on a Snotty Finger. The ults are coming out from Pristine Guardians. Senna would need something big, but can't find it. And it looks as though Pristine Guardians are coming into the brawl, and they are going to deliver a punch to the jaw of the champions. They have taken first blood.
Yeah, I mean, that stagger at the end, beautiful work there from Mello to be able to get that initial pick onto the Moira player of MaDetho to just keep them completely out of play. As we see, play of the game does go over to Cora. Beautiful minefield to try to hold on. And I mean, they got it to 99.99, but unfortunately, it looks like Pristine Guardians will go ahead and lock in that first point on the board, bringing them 1-0 in our series. But again, K-Wing, as we mentioned earlier, it is control. You know, that there's no guarantee as to this first map being how the whole thing is going to play out. So I say, you know, we see the Pristine Guardians are practiced up, they're warmed up, ready to go. Now let's see as we go into hybrid if MaDetho can fight back.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree that control is sometimes not a great indicator of two teams' matchup, but it's hard to really take that loss in a 1-2. I mean, we are at match point now. Pristine Guardians, they are 1 away from not just taking first blood on the champions, but upsetting, one might say, against them and really starting off this tournament with a bang. Just coming at the king, especially if you're going to take it 2-0, that is a powerful statement. That makes everyone know that, hey, this team, MaDetho, might have been the team to beat before, but now it's all us, baby. It's all Pristine Guardians. So they are looking to get a big upset. They're looking to absolutely destroy any hope that our wonderful team MaDetho might have. And MaDetho have selected their map. We're going to be going to the sunny streets of Paraíso.
Yeah, I can't say that I'm surprised based on what we saw run during the first map. Both teams are very good at their dive compositions. Might be seeing a little bit of Doomfist coming out to play here, especially with all the various walls to be able to punch people into. But I also wouldn't be surprised if we see more stable bunkerish compositions, like I had mentioned before. That Orisa, very powerful right now. That Bastion, as we saw, powerful in this current meta. Although there is a hotfix coming out. I don't know when it's supposed to be. I just barely saw it on Twitter that something was supposed to be coming out very soon to essentially put Bastion back in their place. But regardless, whichever direction they go, Paraíso is a beautiful place to go ahead and take us next to see if Pristine Guardians can already put that first dub on the board and relegate MaDetho to at very least second place, or MaDetho will go ahead and tie up the series and bring us to a map 3.
Yeah, I think what you were saying with the Orisa and the Bastion is interesting, because we did have the patch about like a week and a half ago that did get some nerfs onto our two favorite Omnics. Sorry, Zenyatta, but
I'm still mad about that one. Still mad.
But getting two nerfs to our two favorite Omnics in Orisa and Bastion, and we're still seeing the Bastion, especially surprising. But now we're going into some of the same ideas, some of the same compositions that we've seen for a while. We are seeing Pristine Guardians roll out on this Junker Queen composition, and we're seeing MaDetho on their Wrecking Ball. Is it going to be enough? Senna is on their trademark Soldier, but they're going to be going up against Mellow again and again as Pristine Guardians are creeping onto this high ground, just taking over like a virus, and they're already getting some good contests. They're not going to get the pick. They nearly take out Cora. Can't find it. The knight getting thrown, trying to land it onto the Kiriko, but cannot find Hater. And it's going to be the first pick going in. The Lucio falls, and so does Pristine Guardians, and they will not get that first point capture.
Yeah, beautiful way to start things off there. MaDetho had two in the pocket, but just could not finalize those to be able to hold on to the objective as well as one would love to see. Pristine Guardians having to look for that opportunity to be able to push in. And I mean, the biggest pick they're going to have to go for is Captain Crash, but you got to dive in pretty deep to be able to take out that on.
You do. I love the switch, though, onto the dive. The Junker Queen composition was really, really weak. It just could not rush in. But Monkey Happy is in the backline, finds the pick onto the Ana, but you lose everyone. You lose all your resources. You lose all your HP. And then you just get Curse coming in, sweeping it up.
Yes, as we go ahead and see Sledge on the Sombra already with the EMP almost ready and raring to go. It's going to be getting Cora out of that fight quickly to provide a lot of opportunity for them. And with Senna already down, things are going to be difficult to hold.
It's going to be incredibly difficult to hold. And you've got the Tac Visor, the Kitsune Rush coming in onto the point, ready to dish out an LMG's worth of aimbot. And it's going to just burst down the Wrecking Ball, burst down MaDetho, and Pristine Guardians. It'll take them a little bit to get started, but they are clicking and rolling.
Go ahead and see the objective captured. That's going to bring us up to 4 minutes back on the clock. And the ultimates coming out here from Pristine Guardians are going to be enough to be able to continue to force them forward. Korra swapping over to the Diva, looking to see if that Korean champion will be able to hold this line as they take the streets.
Yeah, it'll be really good with how tight this second point can be, but MaDetho has found the pick on the Senna again. Senna going down early once more might spell the doom of MaDetho, and that's another pick coming through. The Primal Rage to disrupt and to take out Diana, and it's all Pristine Guardians. They are snowballing through, and they might just be one fight away from getting this next point.
Well, they are definitely pushing on through well, but with the EMP immediately taken out, MaDetho is going to be holding on strong.
But the Kitsune Rush is onto Mello, and it's going to help them out so much. The Diva Bomb getting thrown into the front line. It'll take out the Lucio. Did it just Ajax the beat with the bomb? Oh my goodness.
So it did.
Goodness gracious. Oh, what a bomb from Korra.
Yeah, unfortunate timing there for Asolius. You hate when that happens. You think that you can get on the payload fast enough to like shortcut that beat, but the timing was just not in their favor. That's going to be a lost ultimate to them, but they still have the EMP and the tactical visor in tow. Pristine Guardians have 2 minutes to finish pushing it. Literally less than 2 meters. I think it's more than possible, but it wouldn't be the first time that we've seen a team hold second point.
Especially with the EMP and the tactical visor, Senna's gonna pop it early, but they're gonna just run into so much of the defense matrix. You just can't find a single solitary thing, as the EMP will run you right into Sledge. 2 picks for Sledge on the side of Pristine Guardians, making it 3, and gonna absolutely run wild through MaDetho.
Yeah, I mean that EMP is going to continue to be a thorn in in MaDetho's sides to be able to continue to force back Pristine Guardians. As you see already, Sledge in the back line, but a beautiful cleanse as Korra now swapping over to this Zarya is going to be able to stand tall against these hacks and this aggressive team.
Yeah, already the Kitsune Rush tactical visor combo is gonna find the Baptiste. It's gonna find the Zarya. You got something more for us, Mello. Already just rolling through. MaDetho cannot find their footing.
Yeah, I think right there was just because of how they were separated. We did see Korra kind of rotating towards the main, but the rest of the team not really following them successfully, but they're trying to stay far enough back that Sledge can't get behind them, and it is incredibly difficult for them to be able to do so. As we see the 1v1 here, Captain Crash saying, "I'm so tired of the Sombra in our backline," and will force the translocate.
Dana gets taken out, and there's the bomb in the backline. Monkey Happy's gonna take out the Immortality Field, gonna take out Curse with the Bunny Blaster, but will not get the chance to reconnect. It's gonna be the Kitsune Rush to keep MaDetho going, but they're still getting picked off. They lose their Kiriko, and a few more picks from the Pristine Guardians could send them all the way to completion, but they can't find it. Senna will find a headshot to seal the deal.
And we'll go ahead and see them hold. Minute 15 remaining on the clock. Sledge coming up on that EMP once again and looking to try to take out Senna early on, but it looks like that's going to be enough for them to hold on. It's going to be EMP versus this tactical visor to see who ends up popping off harder.
I mean, I think if Snotty Fanga can get to this Kitsune Rush, we've seen just how deadly that combo can be. Pristine Guardians are coming up on so many of their ultimates. There goes the grab, but I don't see much of an impact. The EMP going wild. It's the beat. It's the tactical visor. It's everything from the Pristine Guardians to send them to the end of the map with 32 seconds left. I mean, Captain Jack, this is nothing more than incredibly surprising from the Pristine Guardians, currently in prime position to not just upset the defending champions, but to deliver an uppercut, a sure you can, if you will, to the defending champions. I'm using the theme.
Yes, I did pick up on that. Yeah, I appreciate that you know anything more about Street Fighter than I do, because I know very little other than what I've been doing to prep for this particular event. So, but yeah, Pristine Guardians are definitely popping off today. And remember, all of Group A finishes today. So MaDetho's only chance to get into the playoffs is to be able to turn things around. Now, 32 seconds, definitely not what you wanted to give Pristine Guardians. Ideally, you would have wanted to hold that line, but MaDetho is more than capable, as they've shown us thus far, of not only being able to hold the line, but being able to push that aggression. I think the biggest impact that they are having right now is that the Sledge is just constantly in their backline, constantly getting value for the discourse that they are sowing on this Sombra. And as we know from years of casting the Overwatch scene, the higher level you go, the better a Sombra is, the more disruptive that they can be to the best of teams.
Completely.
Oh!
And already, what a great escape from Sledge. Staying alive can be so crucial for these Sombras sometimes. But as we're pushing through, we're looking for this D.Va 1v1. We're looking for Cora to really come into their own. But there's the shot from Senna to take out the Brig on the side of the Pristine Guardians. And so now this Ana is vulnerable and the healing output is down. So the Guardians might just be in a spot of trouble.
That is true, but getting that early opening is exactly what they need. If they can get this objective quickly, that's going to bump them up to a good, pretty close to almost 6 seconds on the clock if they can hold. But with already the picks coming in, the D-Mech onto Cora, if they can get that mech back, it could work out.
The ante was huge there from Captain Crash, and just back and forth. Senna has been absolutely automatic on this sojourn and just took that point for the Guardians. What a dynamic duo. Captain Crash and Senna, two of the players that we were talking about, that we were saying these are the exciting players that you're gonna recognize. These are the name brands. They are performing. They are coming out to play.
And I do appreciate Curse going over to this Tracer, because not only is it going to be good for kind of helping scout out the back line of where Sledge is, but also with Tracer's speed, they're going to be able to chase down wherever that Sombra is and get them as hopefully soon after they translocate. But the Pulse opening it up, taking the Brig out of the fight.
That's a great start. A cheap ult used to take out one of the fundamental players of the Pristine Guardians. The Soldier will fall soon after, and even one pick won't be enough to stop him, but they're gonna take another. They're gonna lose that Kiriko, and that's a big loss. What a sleep from Captain Crash, but they can't find the pick onto the Sombra. They still can't find Sledge. The thorn in their side even still. And now it's a brawl on the point. Curse will find the next pick to open it up. Looking for more, looking to take out this Brig. Nearly charged up to another Pulse Bomb. Sees the Ana, looking for them, but just getting zoned away by the Brig. Big shot from center, returning from spawn. And it's just the Tracer of MaDetho pushing it through, even despite themselves.
Yeah, go ahead and see them pushing into Objective Bravo. The EMP from Sledge, looking to see if they can try to get anything in return to try to push them back, but it's not going to be enough when you see Mello already off the field. They're going to have to invest every ultimate they have to be able to hold this line, because because MaDetho is going to be running into Point Charlie with quite a bit of time on the clock if they know.
And they already picked the Brig. Their Diva's gone. It's just the Tracer. They're playing so economical. They disengage and come right back with overwhelming force. And MaDetho has an incredible time bank, looking to overwhelm, saying that the champs aren't out of the fight yet. 4 minutes on the clock, Captain Jack.
Yes, and with 4 minutes on the clock, MaDetho is doing well to set themselves up for success here as they continue to push their way on in. It's going to be up to Pristine Guardians to really kind of change the pace at which they're moving. I like Sledge swapping over to the Genji, providing a little bit more support there. And with the Nano being invested, I mean, Korra already had Bomb. I'm kind of interested as to why that investment was done so early. They may want that Nano back here in a minute.
They might, but they're gonna get that early pick. Senna finding the pick on the Monkey Happy. And so now Korra is ready and raring to just take this position, take the high ground. And MaDetho, they've got the ult, they've got everything they need.
As we go ahead and see them continuing to aggress on in with just about 3 minutes. Yeah, I believe 3 minutes, having a little bit of lag on my end, but that's okay. Pushing on into final objective. They're looking for that opportunity, but Pristine Guardians are continuing to build up those ultimates and are ready for a full-on defense.
You're trying here, but Senna's finding the early pick. That's a good pick. Taking out Offie is what they need exactly. They just need to survive a little longer. Get up to those 3 big ults. They're coming up to Snotty Finger. There's the bomb in the backline. It takes out the soldier. Melo's gone. They don't have the consistent damage on the soldier ult. They're gonna have to wait for it, but the Kitsune Rush needs to be invested now. The rampage into the backline. The picks need to come, Jack, but they're coming the wrong way. They're going the way of MaDetho, even though they drop in so many ults, everything but the kitchen sink. They still can't find a single darn speck of blue. They find those Kiriko. That could be the turnaround, but Snotty Finger gets picked off once again. As soon as Pristine Guardians take an inch, MaDetho has taken a mile. But finally, these spawns overwhelm them.
Yeah, the unfortunate part, or fortunate or unfortunate, depending on who you're rooting for, is that the defense will always have a little bit of an advantage of being so close to the final objective point. As we see Captain Crash with this Nano online. Korra now swapping back over to the Wrecking Ball, looking to cause some disruption, already pushing them off the point. We might see a Hamster 9 if Pristine Guardians aren't careful.
And Korra getting the Nano is ready and raring to just throw themselves into the back line like the basketball they so resemble. Sledge gone. That's a good first pick in the pulse bomb, but the Lucio jumps in, takes out Curse with their own pulse bomb. An incredible play, but it's not gonna win you games. What's gonna win you games is some great tactical play, which we are seeing in spades from MaDetho, and that's gonna get them this round. They'll push through, but the staggers will come through so incredibly much, but it will only be for so long before we have just a little bit of an advantage for MaDetho. But even those few seconds are so incredibly important when we talk about who attacks first and who defends.
Well, I mean, the biggest difference in this as well, K-Wing, is the fact that Pristine Guardian had such a difficult time pushing into first objective. That is going to be the biggest issue in being able to get past first objective. They had such a struggle in doing so, and they only have a minute this time around. It's not going to be enough to earn up a full set of ultimates to make that full push like they did the first time. They're going to have to look for those opening picks that are going to help them out. MaDetho, on the other hand, they steamrolled through first point. What barely was a contest with the picks that they were able to get. So the first part that each team needs to look at right now is their ability to get past first. Everything that you do after that point is just gravy. But if you cannot figure out how to be able to get past that first point within that first minute that you have, then it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It's going to be setting that line in the sand that MaDetho can easily cross over based on previous experience.
Completely. And now what could decide this entire game, this round, this attack from the Pristine Guardians, they need a successful dive from Monkey Happy here. If Captain Crash goes down early, then then it is all gravy for the Pristine Guardians. But if Captain Crash is allowed to live for too long, one sleep onto MaDetho, but Offie's the one that gets taken down first. A huge pick on the support, and now Captain Crash is alone. Only the Diva there to stand guard, to hold the line, but they can't push any further. They cannot fight it. They're going to get a first tick. They're going to pick up a second, and with a pick onto Curse, with the ability to chase out and beat back any contesters, not only will the Guardians take first point, they will be in great position, pristine condition, if you will, to push even further and start a snowball.
That's true. That was the big opener that they needed right there, but they have to remember it's overtime now, that no one can step off of that, or at very least one person from their team cannot step off of that objective. And the way that our defending champs have been thus far in the tournament has been showing that point gets cleared quite a few times. So it's going to have to be push, aggression coming out from the Pristine Guardians if they want to hold this line.
That and they do, and they have a huge first pick. They take out the Tracer. A really great attack from MaDetho. They have the Kitsune Rush as well. No Pulse Bomb on the side of MaDetho. And there's the Kitsune Rush, a huge hack coming in onto the Wrecking Ball. Monkey Happy's gone. This EMP needs to come out from the Guardians. They need to stay alive. It does get all four, and the beat will come out to try and keep this possible for the Guardians, but the Lucio goes down. The Sombra soon after. The Tracer next. And there is the end of round 3. 64 or 84 meters for Pristine Guardians. Not definitely surmountable for MaDetho, but definitely defendable for the Guardians. It's all up to those Guardians to see if they can keep the upset alive.
That is absolutely true, K-Wing. And I mean, it is just beautiful work from both of these teams, really showing that they are bringing their all to this particular tournament. As we see them preparing for this attack, we really have to take the time to see what strategy they're going to be able to utilize to be able to push in here. Cora looking to come out on that Wrecking Ball once again, which is going to be a huge boon to the team if they can hold it all together. If not, it could end up being once again their downfall should they not be able to hold this line. Pristine Guardians looking to bring MaDetho back out on that. Soldier, was doing really good at the defense, but you just gotta watch out for Curse getting into that backline and being able to get those early picks. Solius coming in on that Lucio is going to be a great way to be able to not only give them the speed they need to be able to avoid any quick backline picks, but is also going to be providing a lot of AoE healing that, as long as the team is staying relatively together, can be incredibly useful.
And now a minute left to decide if MaDetho's first match continues or if it will end right here. This one fight could decide whether or not they have the ability to stay in first place, as Melon's gonna take themselves out with their own Helix Rocket. No way! That's devastating for the Guardians. This is their defense. Melon has to switch onto the Tracer just to get back faster. And the Tracer of MaDetho is in their backline. They're in your walls, Pristine Guardians. You're falling apart now. And what could have been a triumphant defense has now become a comedy of errors, Captain Jack. It's just all falling apart. And the staggers are devastating. If they can't get something together, they can't get picks, they're just gonna fall apart, and they might not even have the time to get a good defense in on second point. It's just not looking good for the Guardians. What was a simple mistake has now turned into a map losing goof. This could be devastation for the Guardians.
That's true, but at very least they ran out the clock. That's exactly what they needed to do. That was a huge stagger for the Guardians to be able to hold on to, but making it so that MaDetho had zero time to be able to continue to defend is exactly what they need. Because you know that Korra and Curse, they're not going to be staying near the objective. So at very least, if they are able to take them off that point, negate whatever ultimates they're able to utilize here, this could end up spelling success for the Pristine Guardians.
My fear, though, is MaDetho has almost all 5 of their ults. They're coming in very, very quickly. So the Guardians, they need something big. They need to use their ults really quickly. Otherwise, they might just fall to pieces. Senna gets the nano. Everything's going wrong. Senna's going to find 2 picks. And the reigning champions do not go softly into that quiet night. They will be fighting till the last bitter starlight.
And that's a good position for them to be in as well. I mean, like I said, it was a little bit of a rough start for them to be able to get that first map under their belt. But hey, sometimes you just need that warm-up match to be able to get you going. As we go ahead and see things tied up, that means we're going to the brand new game mode, or at least comparatively, the brand new game mode Flashpoint. To see which of these two teams are going to be able to hold on to this victory.
Yeah, and I mean, I think you were talking about control and how, sometimes it might not be as representative of a team's skill, but I mean, Flashpoint was added but a few months ago. So theory crafting is still in an incredibly infantile stage right now. So I think that there's a lot of surprises that are waiting for us at our Flashpoint map, and we only do have 2 Flashpoint maps. You really only do have Saravasa and New Junk City, so the question is, where will we see this crazy train go next?
Yeah, that is a really good question, K-Wing. I mean, personally, based on the dives that we've seen from these two teams, I would anticipate New Junk City, as our producer is just now letting us know. But hey, yeah, kitty. Say hi, Vexeldan. Little snapper sneaking in while my wife was coming in. But nevertheless, New Junk City is a very open area for them to work in, and pretty much the perfect place for them to be in terms of their ability to utilize these dive compositions that these teams have really been dedicated on being able to kind of advance and speed through, especially with the way that Flashpoint is played. Even with the fastest compositions in the game, you can only get about 2 fights on the objective before the objective is fully captured. Now, in the grand scheme of things, that's a total of like 6 or 7 fights, depending on where you're able to catch them and whatnot. But regardless, it is definitely what's the word I'm looking for? It is definitely a boon or bust kind of situation. You either you can run that dive composition, but if you can't hold on to the objective, that doesn't really help you out much. If you run more of like a brawly in-your-face composition that's able to stand the test of time, it's going to be a lot slower, but you might be able to hold on to the objective once you claim it.
We'll have to see, and I mean, just how you're talking, I mean, you can tell that there's a lot of different ideas. There's a lot of different philosophies. It's not the way that
a lot of nuance.
It is a lot of nuance. It's, I think, the most complex map format that we have currently, and it is the youngest map format that we have. So we're not talking about it the way that we talk about maps like Lijiang Tower or maps like, I mean, gosh forbid, King's Row, where we've known it for years, so we know what you're gonna see on there because we've seen it run years upon years upon years. New map, new mode, new everything, new me. So we've got about the same compositions that we've seen from both these teams. It seems they have a bit of a comfort zone and they're not leaving it.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll see how they utilize this. I mean, Monkey Happy with this Junker Queen is going to be incredibly beneficial when it comes to the utilization of that close quarters combat. But Cora, of course, being able to kind of drive by and get those setups for the follow up eliminations from Senna and Curse are always a good additional way to be able to hold everything together. As we go ahead and head into the main arena, we'll see which of these two teams are going to be walking away with their first match victory.
Yeah, going into that main arena, like you said, and also going into the last map. Really important here for both these teams to get off on the right foot. And already the flashpoint going in. These teams are going to be fighting along the side, not really wanting to get themselves into the fight. And what's happening there with that Junker Queen health? Why are we at 300 health? That's goofy. That's a little silly goofy. Are we playing on an arcade mode?
Yeah, that's a good question. We might have to verify with staff on that, but that definitely should not be the case in this particular mode. So I'll go ahead and take care of that while you continue to cast.
Well, we're back here with me. I mean, this is what I was expecting to have anyway, but already we're seeing some very interesting play here with the Junker Queen versus the Wrecking Ball, and it's a nuance that I've wanted to talk about the entire time. As the point going to flip over to MaDetho is how this Junker Queen and how Cora and the members of MaDetho have been playing against Monkey Happy and the members of Pristine Guardians. Pristine Guardians on this Junker Queen composition really haven't had the time nor the ability to really rush onto any of the members of MaDetho. They're all so darn mobile, as Mello's going to get to pick onto Captain Crash and the Pristine Guardians. Just all they try to do at this point is run right over everyone and see what they can do. And yeah, that's definitely an arcade mode. This isn't Val. Okay, cool.
Yep, I'm working with the admins right now to get that fixed. We're probably going to see a restart here momentarily, folks. So appreciate your patience as we go ahead and figure that out. But as we continue to just watch the action, I mean, despite the fact that they're dealing with tanks with lower health, I mean, the fight between these two teams is still showing to be incredibly a bare knuckle brawl, very close in the fact that neither of these teams have been able to capture their first objective yet.
No, and especially with how quickly these percentage points flow on Flashpoint, it's really surprising. And now the Ulfest is coming in over the top with the Kitsune Rush and Pristine Guardians going to come out looking a bit happier for the point of it. And now we have the next Flashpoint coming through, and the Pristine Guardians are looking to move toward their next objective, which I don't know which one it is. It looks like the one.
Yeah, it's hard to tell from up here. It looks like we're going into the foundry here to go ahead and start things off, and it looks like we finally get the pause in. It looks like the admins are going to go ahead and restart us there for a moment. Sorry about that, folks, but we do want to make sure it's fair and all. I mean, it was definitely still close, regardless of what the tank's health was, but we still want to make sure that it's fair across the board. Don't want to be switching modes in between rounds of gameplay. Definitely not good for that competitive integrity. So as we wait for them to come back, K-Wing, Pristine Guardians getting a very good start during the during the first round of that, being able to grab the arena and be able to keep off MaDetho, but it was incredibly close between these two teams. It was at least 4 to 5 fights before that objective was able to be captured. What do you think MaDetho should really be doing to kind of resituate themselves now, knowing that Pristine Guardians are going to continue to stick on this Junker Queen and it's paying off in dividends currently?
I think that these fights need to be cleaner. I think one of the things you talked about was that there were 4, 5 fights, and I think that one of the reasons that that happened is that you had a little bit of a little bit of trickling going on there. You had a
Mhm.
little bit of coming in late in a fight that might not be too horribly winnable, and just kind of you had fights kind of bumping into each other and a little bit of weirdness there. So I think just being more disciplined could really help out, especially on this new map, trying to take those coordinated fights. But I mean, it's a difficult, it's a difficult balance to strike because with Flashpoint, you do have such a far ways to walk from spawn to the point that you really only get a few engagements.
Well, I think the big thing that, especially for the mode Flashpoint, because Control was already one of those modes that was so fast paced that you get into that trickling effect just innately because you know you don't have a lot of time. Now you have amplified that by making control points even shorter and having way less fights. And so I think there's just that innateness like, oh, I got to get back. I got to get back as quick as possible without really thinking of my team's not here. I don't need to go in just yet. I can position myself to be ready and not have to necessarily go into the objective to contest, at least at that particular moment. So uh, we'll have to see how things shake out this time around. And it seems that we might be having some issues on the admin end based on the messages that I'm receiving. So I think production, what we're going to do is head to a quick break. When we come back, the conclusion of MaDetho versus the Pristine Guardians here at the Atlas Fighters Showdown.
And welcome back. We are through our bit of technical difficulties for the night. Knocking on wood there, but hopefully we can get this all sorted out and come on in. We're going back to New Junk City. We have reset and restarted. So as the doors get open, we travel toward Arena. We have the same comps, same ideas. Second verse, same as the first, but a whole lot louder and a whole lot more stakes for all of these teams as they ring around the rosy, trying to find some advantage, trying to jump onto the other team's backline. But some interesting maneuvers from this wrecking ball of MaDetho, trying to take it in as the flashpoint going to be unlocked. And the Guardians going to go way more aggressive in, taking out the Lucio of MaDetho, and the push will finally satiate them. 2 kills for the Junker Queen, and Flashpoint A unlocked for Team Pristine Guardians.
Yeah, Captain Prash getting a little over-eager, was trying to contest the objective there, but Monkey Happy was there, axe in hand, ready to draw blood. And without that little addition of speed was going to make things difficult. Pristine Guardians now being able to keep the tide in their favor. Not exactly for certain why we saw a Cora charge in there without the rest of the team, but they're going to go ahead and pull back now as we see that percentage continuing to climb. We do see MaDetho now swapping over to the Zarya to see if that'll provide a little bit more protection and cleansing from all these amazing hacks.
I mean, the picks are coming in so immediately for the side of Pristine Guardians that they just have... There's one more fight until the point goes the way of MaDetho. So now for this last fight, you're looking for some big plays from Senna with his ultimate, looking for some picks, looking to find the heads of a DPS player or a support. They need something, but otherwise this overtime wave will be burning down mighty quick as MaDetho will find the first pick. Monkey Happy gonna go down, both tanks gone, and Senna gets taken out. The ult will get them nowhere, and the Pristine Guardians will roll through, retake the flashpoint, and we'll move on to our second point, and we'll have to see what that is.
That's true. Should be moving us closer to the MaDetho side. That's usually the trend. But whether or not we'll be heading to Bomb Flats or the refinery will be the choice of. Actually, wow. Yeah, okay. I thought that it was defaulted a little bit in favor of whoever ended up losing the last point, but apparently I don't know anything about this game mode, so we're heading to the junkyard instead. And with Cora swapping over to this Orisa, hopefully that will provide exactly what they need. Senna also coming out on the Bastion. First time we've seen them play this out tonight.
Yeah, first time, but there's already the ult advantage coming in for the Guardians. They use this Kitsune Rush immediately, which is going to be the bomb. Finding the pick onto Kiriko, and Snotty Finga is going to get taken down. Take a tissue, my man.
Yeah, I was about ready to say somebody handed MaDetho some Kleenex so that they could be able to clean up that objective and get it into their control. Pristine Guardians not even able to grab the point just yet. Sledge and Mellow, though, have their ultimates online. Soleus also having that sound barrier in the pocket if need be, especially with Cora being so close to that Terra Surge. That is going to be the opener that they will need to get rid of if they want to hold on to this objective.
Oh, Cora's going to get taken out immediately. Pristine Guardians will just run them over like a semi. And really great from Snotty Fanga cleaning up the Bastion and going to take this point for the Guardians.
Well, you know, it is the change in the season, so I definitely do expect a little bit of allergies coming in from Pristine Guardians to keep things going in their favor. But Cora, once again, getting ready to come up on that Terra Surge. Pristine Guardians not having to invest anything to be able to take that point. I'm honestly not for certain why MaDetho pulled back so far, but here comes the Terra Surge, not able to find its target.
but they're gonna send a pick onto the Junker Queen. The Orisa goes on to the side. An insanely goofy series of events. So, I mean, huh?
Can you tell not everyone's used to New Junk City yet? They're just walking off the map, forgetting that there's an edge there.
Wowie.
I feel that K-Wing has stood up and is taking a lap right now because it is still a relatively new map, so I don't blame folks for walking off the edge. You know, you gotta get used to that, especially if you're playing so high pace. But with that EMP finding 3, that might be the opener they need to take it back.
That it could be, and really great here from Senna finding that opening pick onto Monkey Happy, and to the flashpoint gonna go there, and you'll have some good you're gonna have an attack on it looks like Refinery 4.C. So Pristine Guardians going to again get the advantage and arrive there first, but MaDetho now onto this Orisa has been doing some great work. Have that advantage. They have those ults to come in, the Kitsune Rush, and the Rampage to run right through MaDetho. And that's the Orisa gone, and MaDetho will fall soon after. They'll take a pick onto Sledge, but it seems like MaDetho might be losing the HP battle here. Pick going to go, or point going to go the way of the Guardians, so they'll charge up throughout this fight as just MaDetho sticking it in there. Are they going to try and stick it out? Monkey Happy and Senna both going to fall simultaneously. A good pulse bomb from Mello to keep Pristine Guardians even up, but Mello will get taken out, and finally MaDetho will run right back onto point.
Yeah, what an incredible play. Great job there from Captain Prash and Offie. Well, really on the back of Offie there to be able to keep Senna in that fight, because I believe Captain Prash ran back to try to grab Korra and get them back to the objective a little bit faster. So being able to keep that Bastion in play for as long as you did, even with the equality of taking Monkey Happy out despite falling, it was just enough to be able to not only tie them up, but give them the lead here on Point Charlie.
Yeah, and now they have a big advantage. Oh! Comes in immediate from Sledge. No damage will come from the Terra Surge today. And there's the beat from the Guardians, already looking to shut them down. Both beats from both Lucios. MaDetho is going to come a bit later, just charging up the percentage on this flashpoint, looking to take the lead, looking to go 2-1, and looking to take this match. It's so close. It's always going to go down. There's the picks onto the supports, rushes through the Rampage from Pristine. Monkey Happy just actually might have saved that. That was a huge Rampage. It got everyone, and somehow, some way, the Guardians keep it up.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like initially they were going to end up losing that point, K-Wing, but as you said, with a beautifully timed Rampage, Sledge was looking like they were just going to hold on to that EMP, but since the Rampage was used to push everyone back, it grouped everyone up just in the right place for Sledge to be able to get that 4-man, and the cleanup was fast and fierce. And now we're heading into last fight territory here at the Refinery. Let's see if MaDetho can push back in.
And it's an immediate pick onto the Bastion from Sledge. Pristine Guardians not looking to keep this going, looking to take this match. There's the stick onto the Orisa, but the gold is there, the Fortify, and the supports fall, and this will be the Refinery going the way. Well, I say that Monkey Happy is going to go down. MaDetho might not be out of this yet, but with Mello, you gotta count them out. So last one more flashpoint needed for the Pristine Guardians, but it is all the way across the stage.
Yeah, Pristine Guardians definitely going to be at a little bit of a disadvantage here, but MaDetho more so in the long run as they go ahead and make their way to the bomb flats. They'll be able to, contest this objective quite well, but it's going to be that final point. The Ducks so far away from MaDetho is going to give all the advantage to Pristine Guardians. They're going to have to stagger out those ultimates and make sure that they're making coordinated strikes to keep Pristine Guardians off their back.
And to keep them at bay, they can't go this far just to lose it now, as the beat's going to come in from both of these Lucios on this final, what could be final flashpoint. Pristine Guardians are finding the picks with the Tracer finding 2, and that'll seal the deal, and these ults are going to be absolutely devastating for this next fight.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much right now from MaDetho from Pristine Guardians being invested to take Senna out of this fight. They're getting so much value right now as we see Offie now swapping over to the Baptiste to try to see if that immortality field and that AoE healing can be able to keep the team in health's way. And it looks like that's going to be a quick flip on the point without even a fight.
An incredibly quick flip, and the Pristine Guardians are nowhere to be found. They're going to be trying to re-engage quickly, but that flip is going to be devastating as the push coming in onto the Bastion ultimate. What a smart javelin spin coming out from Torres. There's the Rampage going to catch multiple people, and the Pristine Guardians with some smart ult usage and some amazing Tracer play. Mello picking up a 3-piece right at the end will take that point right back.
Yeah, but with only the pulse bomb in the pocket, there's not going to be a lot that they can do to defend other than their mechanical skill. Whereas Korra and Curse being able to combine that Terra Surge and the pulse bomb could be enough to easily retake that point. But remember, they have to be careful and try to hold on to ultimates where they can as well, because as they head to that final objective, it is going to be too far away. But I guess you got to take each point at a time.
That you do, and now the push coming in, just a few more percentage for the Pristine Guardians. There's the Terra Surge drop, kick onto the Lucio. Mello goes down, and 2 great ults to keep MaDetho in it.
Can I just say how incredibly impressive it is that Offie had like a fight and a half and already had amplification matrix? Like, I know that they pulled over 25% from their previous hero, but to build up 75% so quickly when you were already behind everyone else, that is a testament to how well these supports are playing on MaDetho. Sound barrier coming in for MaDetho there from Captain Crash. Snotty Finger with the Kitsune Rush to provide some extra damage. It's going to be up to Sledge to see if they can get that well-earned hack in place.
The Kitsune Rush coming out. Usually you see Kitsune Rush win out over Beat, but it's the first pick coming in onto Monkey Happy. Can the Guardians find something more, find something to push them over the finish line? The turret form from Senna looking to dish out all the damage that they can. The Orisa takes out the Lucio, and it's just MaDetho keeping themselves alive time and time again. On the brink, they stay the course.
Yeah, but right now, Pristine Guardians have all the advantage. That is going to be the hardest part of this. Not only do they have close spawn, they have almost 4 out of 5 ultimates in the pocket, a pulse bomb, and a artillery barrage getting ready to come online for MaDetho, which honestly, with such a quick composition that Pristine Guardians have, not going to be doing much with that artillery barrage unless you can get that Terra Surge back up in line. But the EMP opens it up, and it's a quick clean.
The EMP is dynamite for the Pristine Guardians. And MaDetho, I mean, this first flashpoint, they need to start building up their ults, and they'll have some for next fight. This next fight, I tell you this, Jack, this next fight is going to decide the fate of this match. I can't say this. There's so many ults that whatever team wins this is going to have such a control over the next few fights, they'll win it outright.
That is true. Offie and Korra getting ready to come up on their ultimates as well. We'll have to see if they can create the space long enough to be able to sustain on this objective and not allow Pristine Guardians to build up theirs as well. Pushing down onto the point, amplification matrix, looking to hold everything together as we see the
third
cleanse.
Pulse bomb as well. And 2 picks coming in from MaDetho, evened up. The Rampage rolling through it, only finds to make on the crash. They will get taken down. Sledge staying alive with just a sliver of HP. They stay in the game, and they take out the Baptiste. A light breeze could have taken out Sledge, but the Pristine Guardians stay up, stay upright, and they hold strong. They hold the line, and they take a victory against the defending champions.
Snotty Finger coming out with a play of the game, and definitely well deserved in the way that these teams have been playing. And K-Wing, this is our first match of this whole tournament, not only going the distance here, but by my understanding and following the other match that's going on our on Cofundus's sister stream, is also going the entire limit on their end as well. So if we're already seeing these closely competitive teams just absolutely duking it out amongst one another, I cannot even begin to think. Well, I mean, I know of the other teams that we'll be seeing this week. We'll be seeing Timeless. We'll be seeing Shikigami. I mean, lots of well-known names, lots of well-known players, and this is just only the tip of the iceberg, my friends, as to the amazing skill that is going to be coming to the table.
Completely right. And I'm so excited to keep going with this because, like you said, we have so many more matches. We have 2 more tonight. Oh my goodness. I need to get my roommate some apology chocolates because I was like, it'll be a short day.
Yeah, well,
and
if you're going to cast a curse it like that, K-Wing, then it's well deserved that we're going all the way. You know better. All these years, you should know better.
I should, shouldn't I?
Yeah. Well, we're going to send it to a quick break. When we come back, we'll be heading into our next match for the Pristine Guardians to see if they can continue to keep this streak alive. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Atlas action in just a few moments.
Raised by the savages, know you couldn't handle this. Everyone who battled me, they falling like an avalanche. Got them falling back to back. Take them all just hand in hand. Y'all going home, so better pack your bags. I'm a heavy hitter, come take a sip of this potion. It float like a butterfly, I'm floating like the ocean. Battle cries of music to my ears, I'm the composer. Y'all can never hurt me, got you wilting like the roses.
Yeah, let me look for it.
Yeah, where is it? Because I don't.
Yeah, I have.
Why don't we glue the pieces of our society together with musical code, rallying the people we know to make songs about those problems we want to see change, and solidify the change by having each cover of our album the same, addressing the solution. By the time we complete this project, we'll have gotten the attention needed to continue with an alias naming us the statement we make amongst the cattle, claiming us to be rebellious radicals. Who's up for this battle? You gotta be mad, ill, and have juice too. Maybe that's just the beginning, intending to end the pretending actors role. Nowadays, soul is back, control is back, by the skill of organization. Therefore, our preparation should entail some sort of formation that for the listeners of what to do. Went to school, who's going to be the bus driver? Much of this came from a dream, as cliche as it may sound. The action I found to be needed most now. What will my contribution be? Most definitely political, subliminal, partially, hardly any filler of that about the process. I'm making progress over literary garbage. Hardest these words, it can mean the future set of regret.
Back, and you know what, Jack? I'm feeling the spirit of generosity is flowing through me right now.
Oh, yeah?
I think it's time for a giveaway. What do you think? I think it's time for a giveaway.
Well, it's not time for a giveaway, but we have started a giveaway. We'll do the giveaway at the end of the stream. But for those of you that know, Ghost Revived does some amazing merchandise with their tournaments. And this week, every day of the tournament, they'll be giving out one of the amazing LED mouse pads. It'll be your choice between the Kami Tracer, the Sakura Kiriko, or the M Bison Sigma. As to which one you will choose. So just make sure to put exclamation ticket in the chat. If you have friends that are watching the other stream, make sure to tell them to come to this stream, because that's the only place that the giveaway is going to be happening at. And we'll be doing it at the end of the night. And like I said, it'll be given away one every night of this week. So if you don't win tonight, just come back tomorrow and try again.
And you do get your choice. So if you win it, you get your choice between those three. And I mean, personally, I feel like we need to have a discussion about which one's better, because I'm feeling the Sakura Kiriko. How about you?
And, I'm a tank main. I gotta go. I gotta go with the M Bison Sigma there. Not only that, like the purple glow, my favorite color. Like it just fits with the. I mean, it would also help if I were a keyboard player, because I play on console. So really, none of this matters when it comes to a mouse pad. But if I were a PC gamer, you best believe I would be going after that M Bison Sigma pad. And I imagine I haven't been able to see the images myself of it being lit up, but I imagine probably different color backings behind it. I mean, they are customizable to a certain extent, and they're of good quality, as I've heard. So, but well, as we are now done hawking the merchandise, let's go ahead and get into our next match. Pristine Guardians currently up 1-0 against Jodelo and Friends, who I believe also are walking away with a 1-0 from our previous match.
Yeah, so this is an opportunity for both these teams to set themselves in the lead, to put themselves at 2-0, to be undefeated, to be the only undefeated team as well. So it's a big game for both these teams to get themselves into the driver's spot, to get themselves that much closer, and to potentially, I think, if they win this, I think you guarantee yourself a spot in the playoffs. I think you get yourself second place.
I mean, I've been going at doing stuff behind the scenes since 8 a.m. So my math might not be exactly perfect, but I'd say if you're coming in at very least a 2-1, you're gonna be doing well. Oh, thank you, chat. I appreciate the correction there. Jodelo and Friends actually lost their last match 0-1. So my apologies, folks. I'm not watching the other stream, so really hard to keep up on the details if we're not necessarily on it. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and run on into our first map. Actually, we're going to show it looks like we're going to go ahead and show the teams here. Jodelo and Friends coming in with a Spooky Spanish, Shanks, Jodelo, of course, Benji, and WedTube 345. So I guess if they name the whole team after Jodelo, I mean, they got to be one heck of a pop-off Genji, right? Like, it's got to be the case.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing some Cyborg Ninja coming out from Jodelo. Then we got the Pristine Guardians. I mean, we know already the pop-off potential of every single one of these players. I'm talking Monkey Happy, I'm talking Mellow, talking Sledge, talking Snotty Finger, and talking Asolius. Really great plays from all of these players, and I'm excited to see if that can carry on into our first map, which is going to be Oasis.
Appreciate the info there from It's the Afternoon, typing up in our chat saying it was super close, lost to Persona, was neck and neck the entire series. Could argue that Lijiang was a little bit better for them, for Persona, but nevertheless, they ended up coming out on top. You know, it's okay. Getting that one loss in doesn't mean that you're out of it just yet. Top two, move on. And as we head into University, let's see how this teleporting Sim Bastion strat works out for us.
Yeah, and I mean, we do have the Bastion on the side of Jodelo and Friends. I can hear you, Cap.
Yeah. He's trying to escape, but the door's shut, so I have to get somebody to come get him.
It's cute, but as we get into the fight, have a bit hope between the two teams. Is going to be the first pick from Mellow onto Jodelo. Starting to sound like a bit of a Dr. Seuss book. And now Mellow's going to fire bullets, take out the other Bastion. That doesn't even mind. But it's going to be a great first fight for the Pristine Guardians. Just taking commanding lead.
I'm sorry, I have full cat in front of me now, so trying to catch the action gonna be a little bit difficult, but nevertheless, beautiful work there from Jodelo and Friends on this Zarya, really pushing back and using that amp matrix to try to push their way onto the objective.
Yeah, and you have both of the amplification matrix and Jodelo and Friends finding the big pick onto Mellow. Early pickup, and the Pristine Guardians are gonna get torn up asunder by Jodelo.
Yeah, as we go ahead and see Jodelo taking the point, Pristine Guardians setting themselves up in a good point thus far. 33% is very good for them, but we'll have to see how it continues onward with both MaDetho and Shanks now, or Mellow rather, and Shanks on these Bastions. It's going to be a lot of bullets flying. It's going to be who can get that aim, who can get those shots first, and hopefully not charge up Spooky Spanish on the side.
Oh, that's a huge pick onto the Symmetra, immediately answered by Mellow, as both turrets. One's going to come out from both these Bastions, but there's a lot coming in. Mellow takes out the other Bastion. Jodelo, they still have a lot of ults, but they can't use it without the support. The beat will come in, but it'll fizzle away, and the Guardians will take the point.
See if they can continue to hold on here as they go ahead and pull up those percentages, looking to beat and surpass Jodelo as quickly as possible. Can I just say I'm really impressed with the way that Sledge and the rest of the team are using that teleporter. In my games, you don't nearly see us moving around that often, but I love seeing these.
Oh, what a great rampage from Monkey Happy, just going into the backline and shutting it down. Even Rob couldn't save Jodelo.
Yeah, I was a little surprised by that, because I'm pretty sure the grab stopped the rampage, but obviously not enough to stop it from doing damage. Nevertheless, Pristine Guardians will continue to hold on it. Oh! Woo! Benji just barely able to catch that edge.
Barely staying alive, but Jodelo will not have the same luck. And Mellow is going to find that first pick in a last fight territory for the Pristine Guardians. MaDetho starting off incredibly well, and now here comes the shots from that ult, dropping it in with the artillery. The overtime wick going to start burning down the slashes from Jodelo, trying to keep their team in this round, but cannot find a pick. And it's going to be Benji getting taken out. Can they find a pick on this Baptiste? They do take out the BAP of Pristine Guardians. That's a huge start, but they need more. They need another answer, and they lose their own BAP, and it'll be enough for the Pristine Guardians to take round 1.
Yeah, Jodelo turning their back at the wrong opportune moment there for MaDetho to just absolutely obliterate them. But Pristine Guardians doing as we saw before, taking picks or taking those picks quickly and really positioning themselves well. We'll have to see if they can continue onward. Would love to set this up, but I have a kitty very mad that he cannot get out. So I'm going to hand it over to you, K-Wing, to prep up for this next round.
Understandable there, buddy. And we have similar-ish compositions. We're not switching up too much of the tank. We're not switching up the tank lines at all. But we have Sledge taking on the role of the Genji, pardon. And Jodelo keeping on to that Genji as well. We have a soldier coming in from MaDetho. I'm interested to see this fight between the Soldier and the Sojourn and the two Genjis, these dueling cyber ninjas. We'll have to see if Jodelo is going to be able to live up to that Genji title that earned them the name on this title for the team, or if Pristine Guardians are going to take this map solidly. There's already Immortality Field coming out from the Guardians and from Snotty Binga. They're looking to keep this team alive, but that early Immortality Field is a bad start. You lose that so early on. Shanks nearly getting taken down. The Kiriko as well, nearly getting burst down with the Helix rockets coming in over top. And Sledge is going to take that as the opportunity to engage, and will do so perfectly. 2-piece for both of the DPS.
I don't know how to feel about that, K-Wing. That should have been handedly in Jodelo's favor. Full charge on Spanish on that Zarya. They had everything they needed to push in, but for some reason were incredibly hesitant in doing so, and just allowed Pristine Guardians to pick them off one by one with the supports down. It was all she wrote. 25% climbing right now for Pristine Guardians as we see Jodelo go ahead and take it to the high ground and are looking for that first hit.
Sledge finding a huge pick onto the Kiriko. Gonna trade off, but you take those picks, you take those trades every single day if you're Sledge. Losing that Kiriko is a huge loss for the side of Jodelo and friends, but they'll get back quickly, so they need to find their advantage and take it, as they're looking to try and maybe combo up the Tactical Visor and the Amplification Matrix, as MaDetho is already going to get taken low, and the Amp Matrix thrown out on an angle that's not really working out for them. Only going to flip over to Jodelo and friends. The Blade comes out from Jodelo, the Terror, as well as the Kitsune Rush, but Jodelo rushes in and takes so much damage, needs to get beat just to stay alive, as on top, MaDetho dishing out the damage with the Tactical Visor. Sledge will find two, and it is another solid fight for Pristine Guardians. The only thing good for Jodelo is that they had control of the point.
Yeah, they were at least able to get that 26%, which is going to mean a lot going into the extension of this round. It at least gives them something to start off with. Monkey Happy, once again, has that Rampage online. It's going to be up to Shanks to see if they can use this overclock to grab some quick headshots, shut down that Junker Queen where they stand.
Yeah, and you have the Junker Queen ult on the side of Pristine Guardians, as well as the beat. They have the advantage here, so unless Shanks can come up with something huge, or if they can really disrupt Monkey Happy, which it seems like they have, you have Shanks coming in over top with the ult. The Genji's gonna catch the Lucio. The Lucio's gone. The beat won't save a darn thing. Not even a darn soul. Gonna be saved by that Lucio, and the Rampage will come through to catch two. Then the Pristine Guardians will be thrown a point.
Monkey going straight out into traffic with that one as we see them finished up. But beautiful positioning there by Shinx and the rest of the team. It was really clutch there for Benji to be able to boop away Monkey Happy as they were trying to contest that high ground, really forcing them to essentially negate any possibility of being able to pull off that early Star Wars success. But here they come, full team ready to charge on in.
Full team indeed, as already the push gonna come through. A huge pick from Mello, and the ult coming in for Pristine Guardians, looking to seal off this map and take themselves to that early lead. Getting the pick on the Kiriko, getting the pick on the Junker Queen, getting the pick on the Lucio, the Genji soon to fall, and no one will be able to touch. For the side of Jodelo and Friends, they will be jumped on and thrown off the map. Pristine Guardians take a solid, a dominant first map.
Yeah, I mean, definitely showing that Pristine Guardians are incredibly warmed up after that first match with previous champions of the Atlas tournament. Jodelo really needing to find their groove here, because after such a close tournament, or after such a close match with their previous combatants, they got to find their groove. They got to find a way to be able to sustain on this point successfully. Otherwise, they are going to continue to have difficulties. And, you know, like we saw last time, their backs are already against the wall. We're heading into hybrid. They have to be able to get this win, or at very least tie, to give themselves any chance of being able to get that second place spot. Because right now, if you can't get in those top two, you're going home, and there's no chance of coming back in a couple weeks.
Yeah, and I think the thing that we also have to say is that if they lose here, Jodelo and Friends, it's over. If you go down 0-2, there's no chance for you to stay alive beyond a miracle.
I'd say it's very highly unlikely. I don't know if it's no chance per se, but it's definitely not in their favor.
I don't think it's possible.
It depends on what happens with the other match. If we get a rotation of like 1 and 2s.
Yeah, it would have to be 3-0, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of whether or not that's possible. And
I mean, it is highly unlikely, but it is possible.
Is it though? I don't think.
Knock on wood again. Well, it just may. They have to beat each other in, like, obviously Pristine Guardians have to beat everyone, but then one of their wins has to come against one another. So Jodelo already lost to who was it? Who's the other team? Persona. So Persona would then have to lose to MaDetho, and then MaDetho would have to lose to Jodelo and Friends. That would make it that everyone is 1 and 2, and then it would come down to map differential. Which, I mean, for a math nerd like me, that'd be way fun to see happen. But I'm sure not every other team would feel as psyched to just barely get into the playoffs by the skin of your teeth.
So we'll mark it down as highly unlikely and move on. Anyway, that's the thing here that is on the line. So it may not be exactly your tournament life, but it is going to be a highly unlikely chance that if you lose here, you will go into the top 2. You would have to have a great map differential, which, to be fair, Jodelo and Friends did have in the 2-1, I think they said. But you would have to have something really crazy. So Jodelo and Friends might not have their lives against in their hands here, but it is as close as you can get without being fully there. And they're running out on the Zarya composition. Definitely pretty. What we've seen a lot of this time is the Genji just gonna stand there with the deflect, MaDetho getting their opportunity on this high ground, so really good position coming in for the Guardians. Genji and the Soldier going to trade off as Sledge gonna get that melee kill onto Jodelo. But with these closer spawns, I do favor that trade for the Guardian, and they're gonna push all the way through. Slowly, it's gonna go really deep in, and it'll be a solid push with Jodelo looking to recontest and find something else. Benji is gonna get taken down, and Sledge looking to seal the deal. Now it's this Junker Queen looking to come through. Sledge gets 2. Point will flip, and now just chasing them down as Sledge takes it all.
I'm not knowing how to feel about this, K-Wing. I mean, Jodelo and Friends have decent counters for the matchup that they're going against. And the Zarya is getting more than enough charge for them to be able to cut through Pristine Guardians like butter. But I don't know what it is about spooky Spanish, if they're spooked themselves or what. There's just no... They either feel there's so much pressure from the Pristine Guardians that they can't push in successfully, and they don't want to take that risk. But then, if they don't take that risk, they also risk losing the point like they continue to do. And now they're having to invest ultimates like this Kitsune Rush just to put any kind of pressure on Pristine Guardians. And I feel like swapping over to that Junker Queen was not the answer that they should have been looking for. I would have loved to have seen them swap over to the Orisa if they're looking to provide a little bit more staying power against the bleed effects of Monkey Happy.
Maybe Jodelo does have this blade coming up, and there's no defensive ult to counter it. Both the Genjis coming up onto the Dragon Blade, so we'll have to see if one blade will be sharper than the other. But it looks like Monkey Happy has got some sharp blades of their own. Gonna take out 2, both the DPS of Jodelo and Friends. Sledge is gonna pull out the Dragon Blade. We'll find the pick onto Benji, but that was pretty late in the fight, don't you think?
Yeah, but Gracie and Carnage getting in some hits there at the beginning of the fight, able to shut down Jodelo very quickly. Didn't pull the blade, though, but now they have sound barrier from Asolius to be able to keep them in the line. So we head towards objective Bravo. This blade has to be intense.
It doesn't. Oh, it's dead. Well, I mean, the rampage goes pretty not the best, but Sledge. End of sentence, Sledge. End of segment, Sledge.
I mean, you know, despite having the name of a very blunt, heavy hammer, the precision at which they are operating on this Genji is absolutely insane. And Jodelo and Friends are just having such a difficulty trying to sustain. As you see, already Jodelo on that high ground trying to contest as best they can, but they just cannot find the pressure that they need.
Yeah, no, they really can't find that pressure, and just Pristine Guardians pushing through.
Oh no,
really
Jodelo, bye.
Jodelo.
Oh wait, what?
Yep. What?
What a perfect reflex right before falling off the map. Because they were climbing, they climbed up the wall to try to get up, but they ran out of climb. And so they were falling, but must have gotten like perfect timing on the reflex of MaDetho to get them out of the fight. Wow.
Take out Bello again because time is a flat circle.
I'm excited for season 2 personally. Oh wait, that's a different show. Different show, same characters.
I'm excited for season 2 of Time. I'm excited for Time.
I'm ready for the next season, please. Time season 1 not going so well. Appreciate
yeah,
Time 2.
Season finale, that'd be great. But
Time 2 Electric
Mellow. Time is again a flat circle, and I think we're just Groundhog Day Overwatch edition right now because Jodelo has just killed MaDetho like 4 times.
And surprisingly, it's doing what they need to do, right? Like they needed to find kind of the linchpin, and if MaDetho is the one that's kind of peppering everyone down, then it's good that they're doing that. But interesting play there as they use the blade specifically to pull out the beat.
I mean, they get 3 picks off of it, so Jodelo might not be is probably fine with that. So Sledge doesn't get much with the blade, but Jodelo does.
I don't think Sledge was actually trying to get anything with the blade. They had a rampage online, and I think the goal was to use that. But with Monkey Happy getting taken down so quickly, they didn't have a chance to really follow up on that. The blade was for just to get them off point. But right now, Jodelo and Friends are holding that line.
They are, and they've diminished this time bank so incredibly well. Tiny Finger, though, going down. There's the tactical visor from Mello getting the pick onto the Kiriko, and Benji just going to go visit the Omnix as they jump off the map.
With a minute 30 remaining on the clock, Pristine Guardians are setting themselves up for a very good attack time bank, and with no ultimates, Shanks getting ready to come up on that overclock is going to be the saving grace.
Jodelo gets taken down. Snotty Fingers just on the high ground with the amplification matrix.
Oh no!
Oh man, the Pristine Guardians are just rolling through. Time ticking down. 4, 3, 2, 1. They get it with a minute and 1 second left. The Pristine Guardians get more than a minute on the time bank. I mean, that's important here, Jack.
Yeah, I mean, having that minute on the clock and having above a minute on the clock definitely helps you out in the long run. But I think the thing that we really need to be focusing on is we're seeing kind of a mirror of what we saw in our previous matchup on Paraíso, that Pristine Guardians are able to get through certain parts of the map quickly, but not others, which is usually a challenge for any team. The question is, how strong is their defense going to be as Jodelo and Friends are coming out? Personally, I would once again push Jodelo and Friends to possibly utilize the Orisa. If they're looking to stay alive longer, it just works better against all that bleed that comes out from Monkey Happy's abilities on this Junker Queen. But if they feel that on the attack they can make it work better, then more power to them. It's going to come down, I believe, to Shanks, as of course tradition on King's Row, as it should be, coming out on the Widowmaker to see if they can get a headshot or two to open things up. Probably not going to be giving those away, Pristine Guardians, so we're going to see them probably quickly swap over to the Sojourn that they have been quite well at popping off on.
That they have, and already, even before the doors open, they don't see any heads. They come back in and switch. It's as tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme. Widow switching before the doors open on intro. It doesn't have the same like rhythm and flow as the lyrics, but yeah, I'm working.
Hey, you know that we got a workshop before we're able to find the beat that really hits on us all. But looks like Jodelo and Friends playing a little ring around the rosy here outside the Alder Room.
Yeah, really going around, but they're getting a really great advantage. Sledge and Mello taking out their counterparts immediately, and the Pristine Guardians showing off on this first fight, holding strong.
I mean, it came down to moments of timing. Sledge had that shot lined up, Jodelo had that shot lined up to take out Sledge, but just before the deflect ended up ending, they dashed right through Jodelo to finish them off quickly. Without that DPS on the field, they were able to roll it right on back. Let's see if they can hold the line again.
We'll have to see, because they are coming up to a lot of their ultimates. So Pristine Guardians, if they can keep a long fight going, they can have some success. So they already get the pick onto Jodelo, as Monkey Happy gets taken down as well. It's Spooky Spanish sitting in the Kitsune Rush, just firing shotgun shells left and right and center, and they're finding the picks for it. Mello getting chased down by a deadly frog, and there's your first point going the way of Jodelo and Friends, but now they have to try and push through these arches as Melo nearly getting taken out.
I just love that Benji and Jodelo are just like up here doing everything they can to hold this line so close. Oh, both of them so incredibly low as we see Melo looking for some positioning to utilize this tack visor, but is not going to be able to do so as the point is already cleaned up.
Already cleaned up and already sent to pack. But just because of how far away the spawns are, Pristine Guardians are going to have to hold back at that second corner if they can win this fight, and they sure should be able to with 5 ults in the bank. They need to win this fight economically, but if they win this fight, they get really great positioning, so a big fight here from Pristine Guardians. Jodelo and Friends could lose a lot of time here if they're not careful, and already the blade's gonna come in. Shanks is gone. Melo gonna get taken out as well, but there's Snotty Finger gone. That's a huge loss for the Guardians, and Jodelo and Friends will push through. They are not deterred by the time-wasting powers of those arches. They will move on forward.
Yeah, I want to say that I feel like there's some kind of strategy here for the Pristine Guardians, trying to utilize Sledge's blade, not necessarily to get eliminations, but just to keep drawing out Benji's ultimate. Monkey Happy has been popping off when it comes to these rampages and proved more of a threat than many other things as we see right now.
Oh my gosh. 5 in the rampage and Melo to clean them all up. I mean, you said it and you spoke it into existence, and Spooky's Vanish is just gonna get delayed. What a rampage.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's the strategy right now from Pristine Guardians. It's like, if you've got one ultimate that you need to make sure is out of the way before your pro strat ultimate comes out, then as long as you have a decoy, that's what matters. And I mean, it does help that Sledge is also good at Genji, so even if they didn't use beat on the blade, they probably still would pop off incredibly well. Ooh, but the Rampage finds 3 in return.
Yeah, but it's gonna get beat away by a Solius, and that's a huge one there, and they're gonna use Shanks' ult to try and push forward, but they've lost their Kiriko, and Shanks is not finding the headshots that they need to. They're not finding the picks, and so Spooky Spanish is going to get taken out, and this is the big lost point of Point Bravo, is that you'll lose yourself right here.
Yeah, but I think they're in a good position to do so. And like I said, as I was commenting on their strategy, they're following their own rule of thumb. Solius held on to the beat despite Jodelo pulling out the blade and getting multiple kills, and then had it in time to use against the Rampage in tow, which allowed them to succeed at this point. We'll have to see if Jodelo's blade finds anyone.
Yeah, it's going to find the Immortality Field early, but Jodelo is just forced back immediately. Things start to roll. The Guardians need to stay on, need to hold the line, and just get a few more fights, and they might just be able to end it here and send us to our third and final match of the day. But a lot of ults online for the Guardians. A good start for them on this defense. They're going to use the Amplification Matrix immediately to start it up. They've got the blade. The beat's going to come out from Benji, and it's immediately taken down. Sledge as well, and the ults just aren't there for the Pristine Guardians. They use them a bit too helter-skelter, and so they will be suffering that summer swelter. I think they're going to be pushing in onto Point Charlie. Spooky Spanish as well. We've got 3.
Okay, Wing. I have to take a moment because I had a moment there where Benji was about ready to get absolutely obliterated while beating, and I had a little happen because I'm sure that Benji was feeling in that moment. Oh, your cheeks had to be puckering right there as a Lucio player to be like, I can get it. And thankfully, that was going to be the thing that turned the tide. Unfortunately, they only have 30 seconds if they want to match the time of Pristine Guardians. Let's see if they can make it happen.
Well, they got the Rampage and already takes down the soldiers, but they lose their Baptiste. Oh, they lose their Sojourn. That's not Baptiste in there. That's Sojourn. I just have a really pixelated screen. Jodelo with the blade pulls it out a bit late to fight, takes out Sledge, but they can't find anything more. And so a stabilizing fight from the Guardians, and Jodelo's gonna vomit to the death.
Let us see if they can find a way to bring it right on back with this defense. 50 seconds remaining on the clock right now. It's Mello's Tactical Visor versus Shank's Overclock. One can definitely shut down the other incredibly quickly with a single shot, but you gotta land the shot for it to be successful.
Now already the Genji's gone. 2 kills coming out from Sledge again. And the ults just go entirely the way of the Pristine Guardians. 18 seconds left on the clock here. Jodelo and friends, they need something huge here. They need a big Kitsune rush or a big beat to come out. These support ultimates need to be absolutely perfect. They need to be pristine. Otherwise, the Guardians are just going to have their way because they have the Rampage. They have the Blade. So they need something big here. Jodelo and friends, this Kitsune rush needs to carry their hopes and their dreams. But there's the Blade from Sledge. Monkey Happy holding on to the Rampage. The Blade will not find much of anything. Can Jodelo and friends find the first pick? They do burst down the Immortality Field. Monkey Happy still holding on to this Rampage. Absolutely diamond-handed. Throws it out, finds 3. The cleanse only goes on to the Kiriko, and it'll take down the Genji. It'll take down the Junker Queen, and it'll take down Jodelo and friends. They are 0-2, and the Pristine Guardians are undefeated.
I mean, it came down to the strategy I was pointing out the whole time, K-Wing. Just being able to draw out that sound barrier just made so much room for their Junker Queen to be able to do things, because as you were noting, they were pretty spread out. So that Suzu isn't going to do a whole lot in terms of being able to protect the team if they are not staying together. But of course, if they're staying together, that makes them more vulnerable to being rampaged into oblivion by the enemy team. So Pristine Guardians being able to use 2 very similar ultimates to pull out that single piece, that single thing that could prevent them from succeeding. And Jodelo and friends, again, having a very similar composition, could have followed the same rule of thumb, but just could not crack the code. And that is going to be Pristine Guardians continuing to hold on to that first seed spot as they head into their final match of the evening.
Yeah, and I mean, that puts them in an incredibly good position it puts them in an insanely good position to, I believe, and I've been doing this all night, but I believe guarantee themselves a spot in the finals, because
I feel so.
If Persona won, then you have 2 teams at 2-0, and then the bottom 2 teams that are 0-2 can't reach them. And then if Persona lost, you have a bunch of teams at 1-1, and 1 team at 2-0, and none of them could. 2 teams could not win.
Yes.
And them lose. So
you're absolutely correct there, K-Wing. I actually looked over to the other stream, and Persona ended up taking down MaDetho. So we have 2 2-0s, 2 0-2s. It looks like this time around things weren't nearly as close, which tells me that this next match between Pristine Guardians and Persona probably looking to be a spicy one. But before we go, as you go on to break and enjoy whatever snacks or beverages you may find, be sure to be checking out one of the amazing sponsors of Goats Revive, W Energy. Our company Revolution Gaming also just recently partnered with them. Tried it out myself. I'm all about the scientific process. You gotta find out if something is good before you get it in, before you start shilling for it. And for me, the flavors were great. The caffeine definitely is the punch that you need to be able to get through the day. And the part that I loved about it the most is the jitteriness was just non-existent. It's taken from the fruit of the cocoa bean plant, or not the cocoa bean, the coffee bean plant, which, if you don't know, that the coffee is made out of the seeds inside the coffee bean plant, but there's like a flesh on the outside that isn't really used for much anything. So they're using that flesh to be able to provide a jitterlessness experience. Words tonight not in my favor, but you know what is in your favor? Using code GOATS Revived over at w.gg. Get yourself one of those trial packs and get on that gamer energy today. We're gonna head to a quick break. When we come back, we'll see if Pristine Guardians can go ahead and 3-0 this series, or if Persona is going to give them a change of venue.
And we're here with our final match of the day. And the one I'm personally the most excited for. We've got Pristine Guardians, the team that we have seen their entire journey from the stunning 2-1 upset against the defending champions to the incredible banger that we had right before this. And now we have the #1 seed and the #2 seed being decided right here, right now. Group A, both of these teams have punched their ticket into the playoff stages and getting themselves a chance for that wonderful prize pool. That's $1,200. And so now they have to decide some seeding. So a little bit of pride, a little bit of seeding on the line here.
Yeah, and we'll have to see where it kind of shakes out right now. We've seen obviously a lot of Pristine Guardians on this stream, so if we have the team, if we have Persona put in producer, let's go ahead and take a look and see who we got coming in for them. Oh, we don't? No, that's fine. Let me go ahead and look at my notes then. As we go ahead, and it looks like we're going to start off on Busan for our first match of the series. And I gotta tell you, K-Wing, I'm really intrigued to see if this Junker Queen meta comp that has been working so well for Pristine Guardians will continue onward. Looking at Persona's roster, they've got quite a lot of flexibility when it comes to that tank line. Junker Queen, Sigma, Ramatra. We haven't seen any Ramatra yet, which has kind of been a little surprising. So I am excited to see what they bring out as we head into Busan.
Yeah, and I mean, you have Exofan on the side of Persona on the tank, bringing out the Junker Queen. They're going to be going up against Monkey Happy. That's my big matchup that I'm excited to watch, is to see if someone can come at Monkey Happy and really take them to task. Foreshadow on the Sojourn, looking for those charge up right clicks, looking to find a crucial headshot, but almost overstaying their welcome, trying to beat out this rotation from Pristine Guardians, trying to find that pick on this rotation to be a huge start, but they cannot find it. They have this charged up right click, but can they find the shot? It's going to go all the way off to the side. And now Persona is pushing onto their own point. Sledge is going to find the first pick with a headshot onto Jordan. And Persona will fall down. What a good dash from the Genji. And the Pristine Guardians setting themselves apart.
Yeah, I mean, Sledge has just been an absolute menace on this Genji thus far. And again, the only difference that we're seeing between these two compositions, as we've seen all night, is Mellow on this Soldier, and now Foreshadow taking the reins of Sojourn for Persona. So with that opening pick and that opening control of the objective, we'll have to see if Persona can indeed turn this tide.
This is aggressive here from Exofan. Really already taking down Snotty Finger on the side of Pristine Guardian, taking out the Baptiste. Rico gone for Persona. They lose their support out from under them, and the Lucio as well. Even losing their Baptiste, Pristine Guardians is keeping it in control. It's a 3v3 on the point. Both Genji's gone, but there's only one support on the field, and it is a Solius on the Lucio for Pristine, and that'll set them apart.
Gracie getting a workout right there by Monkey Happy. Now has the Rampage on the line, or actually matching up now is the Dragon Blade as well, coming out from available for Sledge. So with those ultimates, a full 5-stack online, Persona is going to have to be very careful about how they push this one.
But they're coming up into ults of their own as well, but they already lose their Baptiste. The Blade is coming into the back, but they won't even need to bring out any more ults. What reflect from Sledge? I mean, Pristine Guardian. We were hyping this up as a match of the ages, as the #1 and the #2 seed, but Persona has just seemed to be falling to pieces.
Well, I mean, it's interesting, right, to see kind of how things have been shaking out here as the tactical visor comes out, popping off through the amplification matrix. If anyone touches, it would be an absolute miracle, as you see Exofan attempting to touch the objective, not working out so well in their favor. But you know what could be working out in the chat's favor, K-Wing, is if they ended up typing exclamation ticket in the chat so that they could enter to win an LED mousepad with one of the custom combination Street Fighter Overwatch characters that are that have been designed for this particular event. Get you your Tracer for the DPS, the Sigma for those tanks, and the Kiriko for those support players. Your choice if you win, but you got to put exclamation ticket in the chat, and we'll be drawing that at the end of this match.
Yeah, it's a really exciting giveaway, but a really exciting first round for the Pristine Guardians. Really showing off. I mean, if they take this against Persona in such a decisive way, they will set themselves apart as the team to beat for the rest of these groups. They will be a scary one to come across in the bracket stages, but they've lost their Junker Queen already to this Zarya composition, as Persona is not one to give up without a fight, and they are going to run rampant right through the side of the Guardians, and easy first point cap.
I mean, what did I say in the previous matches, K-Wing? If you're going to play that Zarya, you got to be aggressive. And that's exactly what Exofan did. Waited till they got up to 80% and just pushed right on in like a hot knife through butter. Just absolutely deleting all of the Pristine Guardians had to show. Monkey Happy swapping over to the Winston now. Let's see if Monkey do go ham.
Oh, but they lose their Kiriko. Not even a chance to go ham. Their support gone. It's a complete role reversal, but the headshots from the Sojourn are saving Persona. Foreshadow really coming into their own on this.
That is true. We do see Sledge just absolutely attacking. It's coming down to Stoddy Finger was just absolutely feeding into Sledge as they dove straight on in, finding the triple. They push it all the way to the spawn doors and clean it right on up and allow Pristine Guardians to surpass Persona.
I don't believe it, Jack. I mean, that was a done, dusted fight for Persona. They had all the advantage there. It sure should have been. But the recontest, and now the blade from Sledge is just going to get... Oh, my God. Oh, the Junker Queen just comes in and says, Carnage beats Katana any day of the week. Insane from this Junker Queen, and still going. The kills from the overclock, staying the course for Persona.
Yeah, Carnage definitely had some other plans with that Dragon Blade for sure. Num num eat 'em up, charging up that ultimate. As we see Persona retaking control of the objective, 30% to climb to try to meet their counterparts as Mellow with this pulse bomb. See if they can match up against Cosmic's Blade.
Yeah, they're trying here, and an immediate jump in. Sledge goes down. There's the coalescence coming in from Jordan, and it's doing a little bit of healing. Not going to find any kicks directly off of it. Pulse bomb from Melon. Going to find any kicks. A great evasion coming out from the side of Persona. The beat comes out to keep them alive. They're trying their best here. Both support elves out from Pristine. They get the pick onto the Moira. That's a huge support on that side. Sledge just gets hammered by the Rampage with the cleanses there. Sledge nearly goes off the edge, but it's kicks going both ways. It's going to be a scrappy fight on the point to decide who takes this round, but it's really solid coming out from Cosmic on the Genji. Persona takes it solidly. They aren't jokers at all.
Nope, and with Monkey Happy being immediately deleted, Sledge is going to come in here and touch on the Sombra, but honestly, it's too little, too late for this one. We're going to be heading to downtown K-Wing. We thought that Pristine Guardians were just going to take this dead, done, and dusted, but Persona said, we didn't just go 2-0 to just be smacked down like that. We were just letting you get a little warmed up as we just sit back and see what you brought to the table.
And it seems solid now for the side of Persona. I mean, they have all the momentum as both of these teams have gone very dominant on their chosen map. So I think now that we're going into one where Persona are going to have to play this Junker Queen a little more, we might see some struggles come out from them, because the last time we saw them try to mirror the Junker Queen, that was round 1, and we all remember how that went, don't we, Jack? That was 100-0 for Pristine Guardians, so we'll have to see if the Ash of Foreshadow can turn the tides and be that pick. What a great follow-up from Cosmic on a headshot from the Ash of Foreshadow. Already starting to make the difference, even if it's not appearing in the kill feed. It's not even barely staying alive, but the Pristine Guardians will not take this first point. It will be Persona in it first.
What is that sensitivity on Cosmic? Holy goodness. Just snap, 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 back and forth, 180s, looking in all directions. Man, I wish I could play any game with that high of a sensitivity. As we go ahead and see Pristine Guardians looking to see if they can get that first opportunity, but Sledge is already down.
What a pick from Cosmic, just really coming into their own, really doing great at following. I'm gonna get a second as well, and now the follow-up looking to come through. Persona really taking it to the side of the Pristine Guardians.
Yeah, and I'm not even truly for certain of what exactly they're doing differently here. I mean, Foreshadow having this distance damage is nothing different than what we saw during Sanctuary when it came to the Soldier of Mellow. So maybe Mellow needs to swap back over and see if that damage over distance might help them close the gap.
I think Tsunaris is going to come out, but it's Carnage that comes out, and the support's gone. Persona have just, I feel like it's just their anime theme is playing. They've torn off the mask and revealed that they're actually good at Junker Queen.
Yeah, like I said, just a little bit of warm-up, you know, from their previous match, really having to kick it up a notch, it seems, against Pristine Guardians, and now the Guardians are on the back foot. They have no idea what to do at this point.
They are, and they're just struggling now. They're on the complete reverse side. They're going to use the beat aggressively against the Bob from Foreshadow, trying to stay alive. The Lucio will be the first to fall, but the Bob's going to find the pick on a Snotty Finger. That's a huge loss for the Guardians. Jordan is still alive, and Cosmic's got the blade. Picks up 2, picks up the map win for Persona, and the Pristine Guardians get smacked in the jaw.
Yeah, I mean, that was... everything was popping off Pristine Guardians in that final fight, but they just went a little too deep, a little too fast. And I understand why. The goal was to try to take down the Ashe as quickly as possible. But unfortunately, you make that large investment. There are 4 other members of the team, and they're going to be chasing after you just as well as they're not just going to let you do that. That's not typically what a team does. I mean, depends on how hard the other team's trolling, I suppose. But nevertheless, can't say that I'm surprised at where we're going next, which is King's Row, of course. Pristine Guardians so far had a pretty strong showing on this particular map. Let's see how Persona plays it out. I mean, do we continue to see like this Junker Queen rush that we've been kind of seeing? Which again, not really in the meta right now. So I'm not even for certain where this is coming from or how this is working well. But really want to see how these two teams play off one another as we go to the most well-known map by any Overwatch player ever.
Yeah, and I think what's so important here is that what we've seen from this Junker Queen rush is that it was very, very good with distance. When you had the soldier come out from our wonderful Pristine Guardians, they took that first round 100-0, sweeped it. When the Ashe came out from Persona, 100-0 sweep. So I think you would more typically see the soldier come out on King's Row, but you could see the Ashe as well. So I'm interested to see if those two strats are going to collide, and if the soldier and the Ashe face off, who's going to come out on top? Because when we saw that battle happen, that was round 1. That was the soldier versus the Ashe. That was Mellow on the soldier and Foreshadow on the Sojourn. So maybe that Ashe was the piece that made it all come together. But if it is, Persona's going to have to go against the soldier of Mellow, and we've seen just how deadly they can be.
And I think the thing that really helps out with Mellow's Soldier versus Foreshadow's Ashe is just that extra little bit of healing that you receive, right? Being able to back off for just a second, especially with such a rush-style composition, just to get a little bit additional healing before you push in aggressively again. I mean, it just makes sense to be able to open things up that way. We are going to see Snotty Finger still on, or actually going over to the Baptiste, as well as Jordan on the Baptiste. No Kiriko's this time around, so it's going to be all up to Akiro and Asulius to see if they can hold the team together.
That it will, but what a huge pick, and now the rest of the Guardians are just trapped in no man's land. They're caught away. Someone needs to go save Private Ryan, but no one will, and they're just going to get staggered out.
More like saving Private Monkey Happy right there. Goodness gracious. That immediate pick onto Snotty Finger just shut down the push in their tracks. Beautiful rotation coming out from Persona. And with Foreshadow already 2/3 of the way to their ultimate, I mean, there's not much more to say here. Pristine Guardians got to find another way to rotate.
That they do. Foreshadow has shown that they are too good at this. Ooh, that was an aggressive jump in from Sledge, and Jordan was there to punish it, and so was Foreshadow. Now Foreshadow just on the high ground. Goodbye, Snotty Finger. And Persona is raining down the death, and it is not looking good. It looks like Pristine Guardians did not bring their umbrella to work today.
Yeah, we'll have to see if we see some. Well, we're seeing some swaps over, but not the one that I was kind of expecting. I thought we were going to see Sledge swapping over to the Sombra, because anytime they needed to get into the back line, that was really what they've been using in the previous couple maps. But going for this Winston dive now as we see Mellow swapping over to the Tracer.
The blade from Cosmic is going to find Monkey Happy.
Oh,
And
rude! Rude!
The disrespect. The disrespect from Persona here. You can't. To them.
Snotty was like, headshot. Cosmic says, Uno reverse card. Just immediately shuts that down quick. Thought that was going to be an easy stagger pick right there, but with 1:30 on the clock, Pristine Guardians, I feel like they're running out of steam. They gotta find that second win.
They do. And with all the ults coming up, Jordan already takes out Monkey Happy. It's immediate. It's just, there's no hesitation. They're just immediately rushing in. They're on the side staircase. But this is devastation for Pristine Guardians. They're just running into a brick wall over and over again. They're bashing their heads.
Yeah, and I mean, I truly can't say what it is that they need to do. Maybe I could recommend maybe rotating with a stronger defensive or a stronger attacking line. You know, bring out the Orisa or even the Reinhardt to be able to at least absorb some of that damage and really create that difference. But as the Graviton comes out, the picks still coming in despite no one hanging out.
The beat comes out too late. Monkey Happy takes out that. Cosmic takes out Sledge. It's just all over the beat. Just got nothing. The pulse bomb, the blade, everything, all scattered by the wayside. And Pristine Guardians, this is not the team we saw earlier tonight. I mean, this is a team that we saw punch the defending champions of this tournament in the mouth, and they seem feckless and unable to push through point A of King's Row. Cosmic has the blade. There's no defensive ults. They're just gonna cleave through. Lucio is barely able to stay alive. Will get taken down afterward. I mean, they have the Primal Rage and the Kitsune Rush. This is their best chance. But there goes their Kiriko. And their Genji's low. They're gonna be gone in just a moment. They do get healed up. There is a chance here. Monkey Happy having to jump in the air. Just an easy target for the Ash. And full held on point A of King's Row. There is no way that this could have gone worse for Pristine Guardians.
Well, I mean, I feel like we're seeing what we typically see in tournaments like this, K-Wing, is that, you know, it's easy to be strong up front, but we have to remember that tournaments like these are marathons. They are not sprints. So if you blow all your energy at the very beginning, even if you get a couple of wins, that's not going to look good for you when you get to the end of the night and you got to face off against, you know, not this week, thankfully, but eventually will be the grand finalists to take away that main prize. So this will be kind of I feel like this will be a little bit of a wake-up call to Pristine Guardians, saying, hey, maybe we need to practice kind of, you know, holding our energies to a certain extent to make sure that we are not, you know, exerting ourselves as much as possible in the first two rounds. Do just enough to get by, and then when we absolutely need it, then we pull out the big guns. Looking in the chat right now, I see Thea Kaori asking if this decides who moves on to next week. No, actually, both of these teams are moving on to the playoffs. This is just to determine seeding and pride. And right now, Persona is coming out ready and raring to swing with a Junker Queen of their own.
Yeah, and for Pristine Guardians, there's so much you have to do to try and stay alive here. You have to get the draw just to move on to Flashpoint, just to get the win, just to move on to a potential map 4. And already Persona's taken such a controlling presence on the point. You get the pick onto Foreshadow, but you lose your Lucio, you lose your sense of mobility, and Cosmic is running rampant in your backline and is looking for your DPS next. What will they do next? You got the Junker Queen coming in, gonna take down Monkey Happy. Jordan getting the final blow, in Persona just absolutely ran wild. Completely humiliation for Pristine Guardians, and Persona looking dominant. This should have been the crowning moment for Pristine Guardians, a team that took out the reigning champions, that came in, did so incredibly well, and it is quite the wake-up call. Quite the wake-up call to go from on top of the world to be 2-0, going in, guaranteed a spot in playoffs, to being utterly pantsed by Persona.
Yeah.
2-0 and dominant, to say the least.
And, you know, both of these teams have been playing kind of in parallel all night. You know, it was 2-1 for their first matches of the evening, 2-0 to follow up that. So, you know, the expectation was that it'd be a little balanced and we'd really be seeing the head-to-head here. But like I said, maybe Pristine Guardians running out of steam. Maybe it's just that they don't care that you know, they've already locked in their spot. Why do they need to try harder than they need to, right? So whichever way it is, though, Pristine Guardians will take second seed. Persona with a clean 3-0 will take first seed for Group Alpha. And and we are going to be getting an interview with one of the amazing members of Team Persona. But before we head to break, want to remind you that we are doing a giveaway every night of this tournament. Be sure to be typing in exclamation ticket, TICKET, in the chat to have a chance to win one of the amazing LED mouse pads provided by the Ghost Revived store. If you've seen them on the store, they look incredibly fantastic. Be sure to check out all their amazing merch there. But make sure to get that in, because after the interview, or once the interview starts, we're closing it, and then we're going to be picking our winner to announce after the interview. So we're going to head to a quick break. We'll be back with the Atlas Fighters Showdown in just a few moments.
We're back. We're also here with Chime from Persona. Welcome to the desk, Chime, and thank you for coming, and congratulations on getting the #1 seed from Group A going into the playoffs.
Thank you. Honestly, it was a pretty nice, breezy bracket, but I'm looking forward to, the next weekend or the weekend after that rather. See some teams that I look forward to, potentially beating.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of heavy names in this tournament. A lot of previous wins really going down the pike, as we already see the previous champions being immediately dethroned, not even making it to the third match, just due to how late it was for them, but not being able to make it to the next weekend. So, unfortunately, we on Stream A didn't get to see a whole lot of Persona, but seeing as you two were paralleling Pristine Guardians so strongly, were you kind of paying attention to what Pristine Guardians have been doing to really overcome overcome their enemy and like figure out their strategy, so to speak?
Not necessarily. We were kind of just like playing our own game for the most part. We like peeped at the stream like once or twice, and we saw that they were playing like Sombra Tracer. So once we saw that, we were like, if they do that, we can just play like Queen Comp, and if we need to, we can swap to Moira. So they can't really like kill us. But we weren't too worried about anything. We were just kind of chilling, playing our own game. I felt like the games were like getting easier as it was going on, but mostly because we were getting warmed up, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because we didn't really practice like yesterday at all. So I think we were just chilling. We had an off day, so.
Yeah, I mean that typically is the way it goes. First match is a little shaky, and then you warm up and keep going. And Persona really showing that they have the staying power here. So I think my last question to you before I hand you back over to K-Wing is, with the other teams that are currently in this tournament, is there anyone that you are concerned about when it comes to facing them in the playoffs, or is there anyone in particular you're super excited to face off against in the playoffs?
To be completely honest, I don't even know who's in the next like other groups. I know I think Shikigami is in here,
Shikigami is in here.
I would like to be Shikigami.
All right, let me get you the list. So we got Slate OW, Strix, Shikigami,
I think Strix.
Malaka, SMU Esports, Imperium, Timeless Obsidian, Citrus, Atlantic Esports, Crazy 88s, or Abs or Bust. So that is the full list of our teams for this event. Some well known, some not so well known.
Yeah, well, I think definitely we want to take down Strix. I think there's a bunch of few teams in there that we're kind of interested in beating as well. Obviously, we want to win it all, but I think Strix for sure is the team we really want to beat because of some things that happen between us too.
You hear that, Strix? Called out right now. Persona coming for you. So we'll see how that shakes out. All right, K-Wing, that's it for me. Let's go ahead and wrap this up.
Yeah, I mean, the only question I have left for you is there anyone that while we're on the stream and while we still have a few people still watching, we are tantalizingly dangling a giveaway in front of their faces. Is there anyone you want to shout out or thank? Friends, teammates, managers, particularly friendly cat you saw on the street? Whatever you want, the floor is yours.
Shout out to my team. I mean, they put in all the work today, right? I mean, they did really well. I think Cosmic, he might be brand new. This is his first team ever competing, but he's been really shaping up to be a really good player. I see him getting really comfortable with communicating and making his own fight plans now. So I think really at this point, the only way we can go is up. And I have a lot of rookies that I want to, keep on letting them improve.
Hey, that's the great part about this scene, is being able to see people learn and grow and be able to fight their way to the top. So thanks so much, Chime. As always, love talking with you and learning about kind of the perspectives of things going on behind the scenes. So we'll go ahead and send you back to your team so you can enjoy your victory.
Bye-bye.
All righty. Well, K-Wing, we... Surprisingly, I'm not 100% certain how this giveaway is shaking out, because I'm going to agree with chat. Seems a little rigged. Our other streamer, our B stream for the day, Kofindus, taking away the victory, taking away that LED mouse pad. Not for certain if we're really going to give it to them. I imagine we probably will, because of course everyone can enter. But if you didn't get it tonight, don't worry. There's 3 more nights of where you can win your own LED mousepad with either the Street Fighter-esque versions of Sigma, Kiriko, or Tracer, your choice. So just tune in tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we'll be back with Group Bravo and seeing which one of those 2 teams will be moving on to the playoffs. Special thank you to all of our amazing folks, some signing up, some coming in last minute to fill. I'm talking about Rhino, our producer and observer for this stream. I'm talking Echo and Little Joe for our producer and observer for the other stream. Special shout out to Kofindus and to Merp over on the other stream as well, casting their hearts out. And K-Wing, you know I always love casting with you. So, and of course, special shout out to the amazing folks at Atlas and Atlas Network and Goats Revived for bringing on Revolution Gaming to help out with your production. I know things were a little shaky today, but so first day is always a little shaky. Tomorrow, it's going to be crisp and clean, and it's going to have so much exciting Overwatch. You don't want to miss it.
No, you don't. And, I mean, if the people want to really make sure that they don't miss it, there's always that follow button and
That's
the
true.
bell to hit to make sure that you don't miss a single second of the action of this entire tournament, because we have got an entire week-ish, 3 more days, worth of exciting Overwatch ready for you for tomorrow for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I think I'll be back on the screen, and I think you're gonna be back behind the scenes. So we'll both be doing some more stuff later. But that's gonna be it for us today. If you're very interested in the 2 of us, I don't see why you would be, but interested in me. But if you're interested in us specifically, we've got our little Twitters or our X's. We got our X's down in the stream.
That
down there.
does not make me. Please say Twitters. That doesn't make me feel good. That is that feels like the worst thing to say. Like my X's are right below me.
My X is right below me. Jennifer, please call me.
Oh my.
But
all right, we gotta stop. We gotta get out of here. Thanks so much for watching, folks. We'll see you same time tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a good night, and we'll see you this weekend.
What?